here with Dr. Darria, and we're talking about mom hacks and her experience as an emergency room physician, mother, Harvard MBA. But really, it's how can you really be your best as a mom? Because, you know, I know this. If mom's not happy, actually nobody's in the house is happy.
So true.
And so I think many women...
Because moms are the glue.
Many women forget that. And so they're not taking really great care of themselves because they're worrying about the baby, they're worrying about the other kids, they're worrying about their husband, they're worrying about their job. And they are overwhelmed. So, and it's different than generations before, where, you know, here in California, Darria, 90% of moms work outside the house. And it's probably not that different where you are, and you're clearly working outside the house really hard. It's how do you balance that?
You know, I just wanted to say one thing to speak to what you said, and Darria, you can answer to this, you know, how you see this, but it's just so interesting being a mom. I write about this a lot in my books. So many women think they need to sacrifice themselves for their family. And the problem with that, as someone who's also been very sick for a long time and had to really struggle, and so I practice martial arts. For me, my metaphor, yours is the emergency room, and I love that. My metaphor is being a fighter, being a warrior. So I apply that metaphor to my life and my health. And so many women feel like they need to sacrifice that. But the problem with that is if you don't put your health first, just like as a doctor, if you're not well and focused and on your game when you walk in, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to do well by your patients. So if I'm not well and healthy as a mom, then I'm doing a disservice to my family, and I'm not going to be here that long, or I'm not going to be my best, or I just can't offer who I am to my family. And so I had to flip that, and that wasn't an easy flip with my values, but I realized one day it's got to be my health over all. It has to be, or I can't do well by anyone. So I don't know what you think. But
Tana, you've worked in an ER as well, like you said, in a trauma center. They say the first thing that happens when you get to a code is you should take your own pulse first.
Yep.
Now, when I had my kids, my thought was, how can I take it even further? Instead of putting me first and then having to worry about them, can I find shortcuts that kind of put us both first so we're both thriving together? Because that's eliminating one step. So I tried to find those things that would help. You know, what are ways that you can exercise when you have the kids, or make healthy meals easier that you'll eat and your kids will eat?
Yes.
Sleep is the same way. I mean, I can focus on your sleep, but if I don't get baby sleeping, mama's not going to sleep.
Right.
So how do we focus on both of us together?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, so I like that. So doing fun things with your kids.
So let's talk about tiny habits. What are the quickest things moms can do to take care of themselves and their families?
Yeah. What would you say?
So many. Obviously, there's 110, and asking me for my favorites is like choosing a child, which hurts a little bit, but I'll do it for you guys. Yeah. So a couple things. And we've mentioned in the last segment that bright light in the morning makes a big difference. Bright light for our kids children are even more susceptible to light. So when I see, you know, I'm over at a friend's or family's house and they're giving a bath and the lights are all on and they're blaring, and then they wonder why their kids don't want to go to sleep. Melatonin of kids is dropped by 90% in one study after they were exposed to bright light. So a lot of things, same things for moms and dads. So that sleep routine you talk about for your kids, dim the lights, bath, read, milk, bed, brush teeth, bed. Parents need that too. And as you both know, you're both brain experts. We develop those routines and those habits in our brain. So if you start that bedtime routine for yourself as a mom, your brain knows, okay, time to start slowing down.
Yeah.
And so we talk a lot about how to create that sleep routine for your kiddos and for you.
I love that. I know one of the things that I did, because I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym, and all of a sudden you have a baby. Well, that's not going to happen anymore, right? So I invested in creating a home gym for it didn't have to be super fancy. But what I did when I had my daughter, because it's hard when you have a baby to like to carve out that time unless you're creative. I love what you said. So I see moms out with their jogging strollers, and that's awesome. For me, what I did is I created a corner I took my bonus room, turned it into a gym, and then I took a corner of it and made it just a super fun play area for her in the corner of now I had to listen to Barney while I worked out, but so what? I got to work out, right? I mean, you end up hating Barney when you're a mom. It just is the way it is. But I got to get my workout in. I got to be with her. We made it playful. She'd come over and work out with me. But it was just, you have to start thinking and being creative like that, right? So that was one of the things I did.
Have you been reading my book? Like, did you read my book before I even
I did not. No, I did not.
That is... I have, and our basement is an unfinished basement. I got the treadmill, but we don't have a full gym in there, but I have a little pen.
Right.
My brother once said, why do you put your child in jail?
Right.
We have a little hand-me-down play kitchen, and the children only get to play with that when mommy's working out.
Right.
Which buys me at least 7 minutes.
Absolutely.
So all those things can make it possible. Another thing I do with my daughter is I'll give her my iPhone, and I'll say, here's a timer, it's set for 5 minutes. I'll run for 5 minutes, then I'll play with you for 5 minutes.
I love that. She's in control.
And I sprint for 5 minutes. I sprint all out. Then I'm sweaty playing with her for 5 minutes. When the alarm goes off, I go back. So there's little things like that that can make it easier to fit it in.
So,
and I got my daughter a jump rope, and we would jump rope together.
Hang on. So what you both just said is so important because the research actually says burst training is more effective for you than long distance running.
Right.
And so it doesn't have to be a long time. It just needs to be an intense time.
Right.
Yeah. And exactly, even further on that, when they looked at studies, when they told some women just exercise for 7 to 10 minutes, and another group, they said, you got to exercise for 30 to 40 minutes.
Right.
The group in the 7 to 10 exercise total more minutes per week. So there's a lot in the book about finding that little small amount that you'll do so you can get that success and check it off.
I love that. And the one thing I love about that too is you're really killing two birds with one stone in a sense, because kids do what you do, not what you say. I really believe that. So that consistency over time of spending that time with them and being an example is so important.
You are modeling health or you're modeling illness.
And you're clearly very healthy.
Having grown up like seriously Roman Catholic, I, had to pass Guild 101 and advanced Guild. And so I never really liked to go there. But the fact is moms and dads, but more so moms, are modeling behaviors that your children end up picking up. And so by modeling exercise along with time, I always say, because I'm also a child psychiatrist, if you want to make your child a Republican, a Democrat, or anything you want, you have to be bonded with them. If you're bonded, which requires physical time and being a good listener, so you draw out who they are, they'll pick your values. But if you don't spend time with them and if you don't listen to them, they will actually pick the opposite values just because they're not connected.
Right. What do you think, Darria, about having your kids go in the kitchen with you and just kind of make a mess cooking with you?
I think it's fantastic for a number of reasons. One, it's fun. And number two, studies have shown that when kids actually help prepare the meal, they actually eat more of it. So I'm all about using, and there's a lot of behavioral psychology in the book because I think it's fantastic. Some of it's a little evil that you can kind of manipulate.
I am not above bribery at all.
My kids are too young to watch this podcast, so I can say whatever I need to say right now. It's fine. But so, and giving them options. So she has the option of, do you want green beans, asparagus, or broccoli as the vegetable tonight?
Just confuse them a little.
Feels like what?
You kind of confuse them like they don't even realize that no is not an option. They're just going to pick one of the three. Right.
Exactly. They get to choose that. They have a salad. So I interviewed Dr. Tracy Mann, who has the book Secrets from the Eating Lab. It's a fascinating book. We talked about that veggie first philosophy. So as I'm fixing dinner, even if dinner's ready, I'll tell them dinner's not ready. Here's your salads. And I let them choose what's in the salad. And then they sit there like, I got my daughter eating cabbage that way because that was all I had one night. So I played it cool. I was like, sorry, here's some cabbage. It's delicious. She waited a minute, and you have to wait them out. You can't. They can sense fear, so you have to be cool. She started eating cabbage.
That's actually a good tip. That's not one I've heard, is to just like, dinner's not ready yet and let the veggies kind of sit there for a minute. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you also have some great dressings that you make that actually make it tasty.
I'm like you. I'm super sneaky. I'm like, yeah, I would sneak it into her without her. I wouldn't let her see me making her smoothies in the morning. And, 'cause that's a great way to hide veggies. I mean, I was totally like manipulative and sneaky.
Good. I love it. And I love the dressings because we didn't get into it, but there's so much hidden sugar and 74% of foods in the grocery have sugar added to them.
No, we make ours.
So yeah, same thing. It's so easy.
It takes 3 minutes.
It tastes better.
No,
it tastes better.
Yeah.
So
agreed. Right. So we have sleep. We have exercise. We're talking about food. What about taking care of daddy?
All right.
Next book coming up, Dad Hacks.
I love that.
Because
he gets lost sometimes. Yeah.
Often feel like they've been sort of elbowed out.
Yeah.
Which can cause all sorts of problems. And
moms don't feel sexy anymore.
Incredibly important in raising kids. And I often tell my parents, the best thing you can do for the baby is love each other.
Right.
So do you address that at all in Mom Hacks? What do you do about dad?
I think the role of the partner is so important for many reasons. One is letting them help. Even things like for babies, skin to skin, it helps them relax. Mom, dad, partner, grandparents, anybody in your village can help with that. So I think that's really important, especially when baby's young, to feel that you can hand baby off to somebody else and let them do it, and that's okay. You as a mom don't have to be there 24/7. You cannot be there 24/7 and be your best self. So that's really important. And then on the flip side, there are a number of things in there about relationships. It's important. We know that there's more people live longer when they're in a good relationship as well. So there's a lot in there about bids for connection and following up on that and maintaining relationships.
That's awesome.
So in our next podcast, let's talk about dad.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's so important because I know when relationships and babies change things. They just do. Yeah. When relationships change for the bad, the level of stress in everybody, especially the children, goes way up. Stay with us. Use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com or on our supplements at brainmdhealth.com. Thank you for listening to the Brain Warriors Way podcast. Go to iTunes and leave a review, and you'll automatically be entered into a drawing to get a free signed copy of the Brain Warriors Way and the Brain Warriors Way cookbook we give away every month.